Hi, it's me, Dr. Prasad Pudelam, continuing my classes for first PUC, 10 plus 1, that is plus 1, chemistry, unit 12, organic chemistry, basic principles and techniques. This is class number 6, isomerism, in which structural isomerism is discussed. Then fundamental concepts in organic reaction mechanism. Isomerism, the phenomena of existence of two or more compounds possessing the same molecular formula but different properties is known as isomers. That means while writing the empirical formula, the two compounds will be look like same, but those two different possibilities molecules or compounds, they have different properties. Okay, therefore existence of such two or more compounds with the same molecular formula, then we call it as isomerism. Okay, and such type of compounds which can be represented as the considered under isomerism are called as isomers. Isomerism can be broadly classified as structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. Structural isomerism classified into four: chain isomerism, position isomerism, functional group isomerism, and metamerism. Stereoisomerism is classified into two, mainly geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. Okay, so geometric isomerism and optical isomerism are there in higher standard, higher classes. Only structural isomerism is there for first PUC at present. So we'll see one by one. So stereoisomerism, actually it is the compounds have same constitution or sequence of covalent bonds, but relative positions, the relative position of the atoms or group in space, that is three-dimensional space. The space means three-dimensional. Three-dimensional arrangement are different. Then we call it as stereoisomerism. Means in spatial arrangement, if they are differ, if it looks differ, then we call it such molecules are or compounds are stereoisomers. This special type of isomerism is called stereoisomerism, and they are classified as geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. I'm not going in detail. We'll see the structural isomerism and its classifications. The compounds having same molecular formula but different structures, or the manner in which atoms are linked, they are classified under structural isomerism. This is two-dimensional way. When we look into the molecule, you can easily understand that. No need to go to the three-dimensional way. Two-dimensional way itself is more than sufficient to understand the nature of a structural isomerism. The first one, that is chain isomerism. Chain isomerism, when two or more compounds have similar molecular formula but different carbon skeletons, these are referred to as chain isomers, and the phenomenon is termed as chain isomerism. Okay, we'll see the example. A molecule given the formula C5H12, it can be written like C5H12, that is CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. That is meth, eth, prop, but, pent. That is a normal pentane. It can also be written as CH3, CH3, CH2, CH3. This is 2-methyl butane. Even it can be also written in this way with a quaternary carbon atom, or say CH3, CH3 twice CH3, that is 2,2-dimethyl propane. So same molecular formula but different carbon skeletons. Okay, one is straight chain, the second one is having one branch, the third one having two branches. All these represents, that is pentane, 2-methyl butane, or 2,2-dimethyl propane can be represented as C5H12 only. Okay, therefore this is an example for chain isomerism. There is a difference in carbon skeleton or chain formation. The second classification under structural isomerism is position isomerism. That is something related to the position. When two or more compounds differ in position of the substituent atom or functional group on the carbon skeleton, they are classified under, or they are called as positional isomers, and the phenomenon is known as or called as positional isomerism. Okay, example is given C3H8O in terms of alcohols, or as with the functional group OH, you can represent it as CH3, CH2, CH2OH. That is 3 carbon atoms, 8 hydrogen atoms, and 1 oxygen atom. This is the molecule we call as propanol. You can also rearrange it as in which the OH goes to the second position of the propane molecule. It becomes propane 2-ol or 2-propanol. So propanol as well as propan 2-ol are the isomers which we call as the position isomers. Third category, that is functional group isomerism, in which something related to the functional groups. 2 or more compounds having same molecular formula but different functional groups. Okay, previous one we seen the same functional group, its position is varied. Okay, here same molecular formula, but we can write it while writing the structural formula, complete structural formula, we can write it in with a 2 functional group. Say example C3H6O, it can be represented in terms of aldehydes as well as ketone. Okay, so CH3, CH2, CHO, that is, even though it is C double bond O H, but aldehydes we call it as CHO. Okay, that's why it is CH3, CH2, CHO. This is an aldehyde, meth eth prop, that is propanol. Aldehyde, the suffix will be Al, therefore it is propanol. It can also be written as CH3, C double bond O, CH3. This is a ketonic functional group. Therefore, it is propanol. Okay, so already we discussed the difference between aldehyde and ketone. Aldehyde having C double bond O, but one of the carbon vacancy is satisfied by hydrogen. Whereas in ketone, both the vacancies other than C double bond O is satisfied by alkyl group. It become ketone. So propanol and propanol are functional isomers. The last category, that is metamerism. Metamerism, it arises due to the different alkyl chains on either side of the functional group in the molecule. Say with example, C4H10O with oxygen as the functional group, or alkoxy as the group, if you consider CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3. So this is not a straight chain of carbon. Straight chain of carbon ends with 2 carbon atoms, either in left side 2 carbon atom or right side 2 carbon atom. In between oxygen comes, therefore it becomes an alkoxy group. Okay, so here it is CH3 CH2O or OCH2 CH3 group. This we call as ethoxy group. Okay, this is ethane and oxygen. Okay, therefore it is ethoxy group. Therefore the molecule name UPSC nomenclature is ethoxy ethane. So it is ethoxy ethane. The molecule can also be written as oxygen in the second position, or oxygen to the right position. Then also it becomes the second position only in this structure. Okay, so that type of arrangement, that is CH3, CH2, CH2O, CH3. Here also the number of carbon is 4, number of hydrogen is 10, and 1 oxygen is there. Okay, so here the functional group present is methoxy. Okay, so it is methoxy functional group attached to propane molecule. Therefore, it is methoxypropane. So ethoxyethane and methoxypropane are metamers, or these are the example for metamerism. Now, some fundamental concepts in organic reaction mechanism. Say an organic molecule, or which we call as the substrate, which undergoes a chemical reaction to give some product or byproduct. So this substrate, it will undergo chemical reaction only if some attacking reagents or some other molecules comes there to react with that to form the product. Okay, so when attacking reagent comes, okay, so it is presented like this also. It forms an intermediate. So the formation of intermediates with organic molecules, that is a matter of importance to give the product or products as well as byproduct or byproducts. So here in this section, the fundamental concepts in organic reaction mechanism, the main focus is that I am giving is for intermediate. So intermediate, what type of intermediate is formed? Either maybe the attacking reagent or the substrate. So mainly we discuss about the substrate. Substrate, what type of intermediate it is formed, that decides the nature of the product as well as the byproduct. So the possibilities are discussed under fundamental concepts in reaction mechanism. So what is reaction mechanism or organic reaction mechanism? It is a sequential account of each step describing details of the electron movement, the energetics during bond cleavage and bond formation, and the rate of transformation of reactants into products, which we call as kinetics. All these are referred to as reaction mechanism. That means to form a product, the organic molecule or the substrate or the reagent in which the electron movement takes place, bond break or bond breakage or new bond formation takes place, or it absorbs some energy or it releases energy. All this decides the product formation as well as the byproduct formation. So these studies are comes under organic reaction mechanism. The one who knows the organic reaction mechanism, it is easy for them to manipulate or to decide what type of chemicals are to be taken, how much compound, and what will be the final product that they are going to achieve. Okay, so first one case under fundamental concepts in organic reaction mechanism is fission of a covalent bond. Fission means breaking. Fusion means combining. Fission means it's breaking. So there are two types of breaking or cleavage. Cleavage is also a word for breaking of heterolytic cleavage and homolytic cleavage, two types of fission. So the organic reaction in which process through heterocyclic bond cleavage are called ionic or heteropolar or just polar reactions. That means if the organic reaction follows through heterolytic cleavage, then such reactions are known as ionic reactions or heteropolar reactions or polar reactions. Now what is heterolytic cleavage? Heterolytic cleavage in which the bond breaks, that shared pair of electrons remains with one of the fragment. Okay, with example, it will be clear. So I took a molecule of CH3Br, that is carbon attached to 3 hydrogen atom and 1 bromine atom with a covalent bond. Here bromine atom is more electronegative, so the electrons shared by carbon and bromine can be shifted to bromine in presence of a attacking reagent, or some when it starts reacting the CBr bond, the electrons in CBr bond. So these are the two electrons which form the CBr covalent bond. It can shift to the Br, that is the arrow represents. Okay, so the arrow represents that the bond electrons are moving electrons are moving near bromine, or it can be rewritten as C plus, that is CH3 plus and Br with bromine with 2 electrons. Okay, when bromine gets 2 electrons, it becomes negatively charged, and the carbon having positive charge. Here this headed arrow to the right side. Okay, this is an important representation. This represents heterolytic cleavage. Okay, so to represent the heterolytic cleavage, this type of arrow mark we have to represent. That means these 2 electrons are moving to bromine. So the arrow head should end at bromine. Okay, so here we'll get a carbon with a positive charge and bromine will get a negative charge. Negative charge because it got excess electron. One extra electron of carbon, it is taken by bromine. So the carbon containing the positive charge, we call them as carbocations. Carbocations, it can be defined, or you can say carbocation as are the species having carbon atoms possessing sextet. Sextet means 6 carbon atoms, 6 electrons. Okay, so in this example here, carbon shared the electron of hydrogen, therefore here 2 electrons are there. Here also 2 electrons, therefore now it is total 4. Another 2 electrons with the third carbon hydrogen, therefore 6. Therefore 6 electrons. Such type of arrangement or such type of nature we call it as sextet. Therefore there are sextet of electrons and a positive charge is there on the carbon atom, then we call them as carbocations. In earlier days they were also called as carbonium ions. Okay, so the representation, three-dimensional representation also given here. So the carbocation can be represented in a three-dimensional way like this, with a trigonal planar shape and a orbital, a vacant orbital, which is above and below the plane, and the carbon is having a total positive charge. Or we can say there is a vacant p orbital, that is 2p z orbital, or it may be 2p x orbital, or it may be 2p y orbital also. Okay, and the remaining one hydrogen, it comes near to us. One hydrogen goes away from us, and the third hydrogen is on the plane. That means there it forms a triangular shape, and it is the plane, in the same plane. All the hydrogen and carbon are in the same plane, whereas this vacant p orbital is above and below that plane. So that is a carbocation. There are primary carbocation. This is an example for primary carbocation, in which carbon is attached to all the vacancies, remaining vacancies of carbon are satisfied by hydrogen. Then it is primary carbocation. If one of the hydrogen is replaced by a alkyl group, that means a carbon containing group, then we call it as that carbon containing positive charge it becomes secondary carbocation. If two hydrogens are replaced by carbon or alkyl group, then it becomes secondary carbocation. Likewise, quaternary carbocations are also there. Okay, the stability and all we'll discuss in the coming classes with the hyperconjugation. Now we'll discuss in data. So the second possibility is of carbanion. That means heterolytic cleavage, in which the bond breaks to the carbon, not to the other molecule. Okay, previous example we seen, instead of Z, we took Br. So here I took a common example, Z. Z is not an atom as such, that is representing some atoms. Okay, so heterolytic cleavage can also give a species in which carbon gets the shared pair of electrons. The shared pair of electron goes to carbon atom. Carbon gets one extra electron. One electron, it is of that of carbon only. The second electron of that of Z, it is taken up. Then it gets a negative charge. Then such carbon molecules are known as carbanions. Carbanions are species carrying a negative charge on carbon atom. It can be represented in a three-dimensional representation like this, in which the 3 goes to the tetragonal shape. Okay, that is not a planar shape. The hydrogen and all the hydrogens and carbon are not in the same plane. It goes to a tetragonal, tetrahedral shape. Okay, and there is a p orbital with 2 electrons, then it becomes a hybridized orbital. It is a sp3 hybridized orbital. Okay, therefore sp3 hybridized orbital, that already we discussed, it forms a shape like this, that is tetrahedral shape. Therefore carbanions, normal cases, it forms a tetrahedral shape, or this is the three-dimensional representation of a carbanions. Likewise, carbocations, carbanions also primary are there, secondary are there, tertiary are there. Okay, their stability also we'll discuss in coming classes. Okay, so here carbon is having a negative charge. That is because of fission of a covalent bond, in which the electrons are taken up by the carbon atom. So third possibility, that is, okay, with a homolytic cleavage. So two possibilities we see in with a heterolytic cleavage. Now the third possibility, that is with a homolytic cleavage. So homolytic cleavage, one of the electrons of the shared pair in a covalent bond goes with each of the bonded atoms. Thus in homolytic cleavage, the movement of a single electron takes place instead of electron pair. Okay, as in previous two cases, either 2 electrons goes away from carbon, or 2 electrons goes to carbon, it coming near to carbon. That is 2 electron movement in heterolytic cleavage. Whereas in homolytic cleavage, it is equal. One electron goes to the one atom, the other electron goes to the other, its corresponding atom. Then it becomes free radicals. We'll see the formation of free radical. So example, CH3X. So this is an halogen represented by X. Suppose it undergoes homolytic cleavage. So CX bond, that means it has got 2 electrons shared. Those 2 electrons, one electron goes to carbon atom, the second electron goes with the halogen atom. Then we can say that these two are free radicals, free electrons. Free electrons we call it as free radicals. An atom containing free electron, then that atom we call it as free radical. Okay, so this is the representation of homolytic cleavage. So in heterolytic cleavage, we shown a headed arrow either to right side or to left side. Whereas in homolytic cleavage, we need two such type of arrows, but it is half-headed, not completely. The arrow head is not complete; it is only half. Therefore, we call it as half-headed arrow. So two half-headed arrows showing opposite side represents that the electrons of this Rx bond are moving to their respective sides and becoming free radicals. That is, in presence of heat or light, we'll get alkyl free radical as well as the halogen free radical. Alkyl free radical or halogen free radical that takes this type of shape, that is the atoms in a plane, hydrogen and carbon atoms in a plane. This is a p orbital. It is not vacant p orbital. Actually, it contains one electron now. That is one electron. That is, it is not formed a bond, or it broke in a such a way that we call it as homolytic cleavage, and the electron come back to the carbon atom. Okay, so this is the representation, three-dimensional representation of homolytic cleavage. So organic reaction which process through homolytic fission are called as free radical reactions. So there are many free radical reaction mechanisms which are very important. Now, some compounds or some molecules or some presentation which we call as nucleophile or electrophiles. Nucleophiles are reagents that brings an electron pair, or called nucleophile, Nu double dot, 2 electrons. That is, it is nucleus seeking. Nucleus is having positive charge. Here nucleophile is having negative charge. That means it requires a nucleus. Therefore, it is nucleus seeking, and the reaction with nucleophiles are known as nucleophilic reactions. Okay, so any reagent which takes electron pair and it is attracted to a positive center, we call them as nucleophile. Example, negatively charged ions like a hydroxyl ion, OH minus, in which a negative charge is there on oxygen atom. Cyanide ion, that is Cn minus, in which the negative charge is there on carbon atom. Or carbon ions. Carbon ions means having negative charge on carbon atom. Or HS minus, or C2H5O minus, or NH2 minus. All are negative charged ions. They are example for nucleophiles because it needs a positive charge center to form a bond. Neutral molecules like water, in which oxygen has got two lone pairs of electron, can be treated as a nucleophile. Or R3N or R2NH, amide functional groups, having nitrogen with a lone pair of electron, can also act as a nucleophile. Electrophile, a reagent that takes away electrons pair is called electrophile, that is having positive charge. Electron seeking means they are always in search of electrons because they are having positive charge. They need electrons to neutralize that positive charge. And the reaction which happens through electrophiles or with the presence of electrophile or with the formation of electrophile, such type of reactions are called electrophilic reactions. Examples, carbon ions, that is carbocations, CS3 plus, or chlorine plus, or NO2 plus. This is a mistake. This is not carbon ion. This is carbocation. Neutral molecules with a functional group like a carbonyl group, that is ketone functional group, C double bond, or alkyl halides like R3CX or BF3. All these molecules are treated as electron deficient or electrophile, which always attracted towards the nucleophiles. Now some electron displacement effects like inductive effect, resonance effect, electromeric effect, hyperconjugation. All these are the different electron movement because of the presence of some functional group. The electron movement, how the electron movement, a possible electron movement, they are studied or discussed under these effects known as inductive effect, resonance effect, electromeric effect, and hyperconjugation. All this will discuss in next class, class number 7 in detail. So this is the class number 6, that is isomerism, in which more importance is given to structural isomerism and introduce some of the fundamental concepts of organic reaction mechanism. At present, this is for first PUC, that is +1 chemistry, unit 12. I'll sign it from the presentation. Thank you very much and have a nice day.